Hey guys, just thought I would do a bit of a Q&A video. It's been quite a while since I've done one. I think the last one I did was in like January, so a little bit a while ago now. So put up a post up on the Facebook page and on Instagram for you guys to give me some questions. So we've got 5 questions in total, so probably a little bit less than what we usually get, but they're pretty interesting questions, so I'll get stuck into them. So the first question is what is my dream cosplay? This is a question that comes up fairly regularly when I'm speaking to people about cosplay. In terms of doing a full on armor build, it'd probably be Black Queen from XL World. Just it is a complicated armor build. It is very there's a lot of angles and there's a lot of technique that's required to be able to do that and to do it convincingly. Not only that, but she's actually, her feet are actually pointed in the armor, so even working out the logistics of being able to move around in that kind of armor is quite tricky, but it's definitely one that I would love to do and would love to enter as like an ultimate goal for like competition. In terms of a group, because it was a question matter of a solo or group, and in terms of a group, it would be either a full raid party from a Kamega Kill, because I don't think I've ever seen that being done, or like full team of Saiyans, or I would love to see, probably not something I would do personally, but I would love to see is a full cosplay group of the Ginyu Force from Dragon Ball Z, because I just think that would be amazing. But yeah, so there's a lot of stuff that I do want to work on, but my ultimate one would probably, in terms of armor specifically, would be Black Queen. And even in terms of just like an actual costume itself, like a fabric costume, her Black Lotus version, which is her more unarmored version or non-fight version. Because it's gigantic wings and it's a gigantic princess cupcake dress, and it would just be an amazing thing to like achieve. But yeah, so that's my dream cosplays. Second question is, what's a cosplay that when you first started out you thought, no, nah, way out of my league, but you feel you could take on now? So I've kind of broken this up into 2 aspects. So body confidence wise, because that's something I've been dealing with, trying to get around, because there's a lot of costumes that I'd love to be able to do, but I'm like, there's no way I would feel comfortable doing it. I'm probably at the stage now where I want to give Silk Spectre from Watchmen a go. Watchmen's probably one of my favorite nerd movies, and she's such a powerful character, so I think she'd be amazing to do a cosplay of. And she's quite revealing because it's a latex suit, and the legs are fully on show, and you've got to wear like thigh high heels. It's quite a challenge. But I definitely want to give that a crack. That's probably one I might be looking at doing next year. I did want to do it this year, but I just couldn't find the right costume for it. And crafting wise, there's a lot that I feel like I can give it a crack at, but I haven't had enough time to sink into crafting to be able to have a proper go at a lot of stuff. But at the moment, I've just started doing Lagertha from Vikings cosplay, which I'm hoping to have finished next year. This is one of probably, I think, the first of many projects that I decided I wanted to do for Championship of Cosplay. I don't know if I'll be going for it next year. I might look at Cosplay Active at Oz Comic Con, if I can make all of it, but it'll be a challenge because there's a lot of goes into it. For example, I'm in the process of doing the chainmail, so this is only one row of what goes into one panel of the chainmail, and there's about 4 or so panels that I need to make alone for that, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff that's going to go into it as well, plus things that I've never done before. Actually, most of it's stuff I've never really done before, and particularly wig styling. Her hair is a very traditional Nordic style, and it is quite challenging to do, so that's going to be a fun experience to go into. I am going to try and start making a video update of the progress on that costume, because I think that would be a really interesting build to document. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, is I want to have a crack at a series comp, and Lagertha, if I can get it ready in time, will probably be the first thing I'm going to have a crack at. But chainmail is a very time consuming thing, so fingers crossed I can get done in time, but who knows at this stage. So the next question is, what was it about cosplay that drew you in? So I went to my first convention in 2014, which was Oz Comic Con, when it was still at Glebe Island. And I went there to meet Jason Momoa because I'm a massive Game of Thrones fan. And I like Stargate. I didn't realize initially when I saw him as Khal Drogo that he was in Stargate. So I went and met him, and I saw all the cosplays, and I saw how much fun it was, so I was speaking to my boyfriend about it, and a few of my friends was filling me in what cosplay is, because they do it. And then I was like, well, I may as well give it a go myself, and so the following Supernova in 2015 was the first time I cosplayed, and I've just been hooked on it ever since. And it's just an absolute blast. There's always something new and fun, and it's never getting dull. It's something that I think will forever draw you in, because there's always something new and exciting and awesome to learn. So yeah. Fourth question. This is just a hilarious one. Massive shout out to Ash Sands. She's the most beautiful girl ever. And her question was, will you marry me? She should already know that she's my cos wifey. She's awesome. We have a thing now where I go up to Brisbane Supernova. We started this last year when I went up to Brisbane Supernova for the first time. We did Punk and Mary Jane and Punk Gwen Stacy. And this year we're doing another Punk thing. We're doing what's turning into a Teen Titans group. So I'm going to be doing a Goth Raven. She's doing a Goth Starfire. And we've got another person that's going to be doing either a Goth Robin or one of the other ones. I can't remember what it was. Beast Boy. So yeah, she's an awesome chick, and I'm really glad I got a chance to meet her. And there's a lot of really cool stuff that we're going to be working on, mostly punk goth related, because we just like doing our own take on a character because it's just fun and different. But yes, like Ash, you already know that I will marry you, as long as, Matt's okay with it, because, hubby and all. Okay, and the last question is very similar to one of the other questions, is how did you first come to love cosplay? So for me, I'm a massive nerd. I read comics, I play video games, I watch anime. So it was a natural progression for me as a nerd to branch out into cosplay, because it's an outlet of a way you can show your love for a fandom, for a particular fandom, for a particular character. So like after Oz Comic Con and I discovered what cosplay was, I started going and finding cosplayers to follow. And that was a massive inspiration for me, seeing photos of all these costumes, and it kind of made me go, it gave me that drive to want to give it a go. And it was actually Eve Bogard, was the first famous, well-known cosplayer that I met, which was at Oz Comic Con 2015 in Sydney. And I got a photo signed that was actually taken by one of my good friends, JJ Ma, who I didn't realise shot with her at the time. But, noticed the photo leading up to the convention, and when I saw it, I was like, oh, I know that photo. So that was really cool because I've got a photo from a cosplayer that I really look up to, and it's also by one of my really good mates, who I've shot with quite a lot since then with my cosplay stuff. And Eve Bogard was actually my major inspiration to get a Spider-Gwen suit and to cosplay her. And some of my photos that I actually got to do with JJ was kind of inspired on the shoot that he did with her as well, which was really awesome because she was such an inspiration for me to do that character. And that's what the good thing about cosplay is you know, the community as a whole is so awesome, and that everyone's, you know, really supportive and inspirational to each other, and you know, it's just so much fun. But I love that cosplay allows you to be whoever you want to be, from your like favorite comic book or TV show or movie or video game or anime or book or, you know, anything, and you get to share it with your friends and, you know, fellow fans from the fandoms and of the character. And you know, in some cases, you know, you get the chance to actually meet the actor behind the character as well. And like, you know, for example, like Brisbane Supernova last year, when I did my Punk Gwen Stacy, and I had the chance to go and meet Stan Lee. And for me, being a comic book fan and a massive Marvel fan, that was like a huge thing to be able to be like in one of the characters that he created, and you know, spent so much of his life devoted to, kind of thing. It was really awesome. There's been a few other times when I've been able to, you know, cosplay characters like that. And like Brisbane Supernova this year, I'm going to be doing Black Canary to meet John Barrowman because he's from the Arrowverse. I would have loved to have done it when I met Stephen Amell, but I just didn't have it ready in time. And also my Arrow costume wasn't accurate enough, so I didn't want to wear that to meet him as well. But it's really cool to be able to go up and meet people that are like, you know, the actors or the voices behind the character. Is really cool. So that concludes all the questions. I will try and do these kind of Q&A things a little bit more often than what I have. I'm going to try and create more YouTube content and, you know, keep things interesting on here. But make sure you follow my Facebook page and my Instagram, which I will drop in the description below. And if this is the first time you're watching one of my videos, please subscribe to the channel. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video.